pray that God will strengthen you for the journey. I can't tell you that it won't be one, but it will be. But I pray that God will strengthen you for the journey that you will stand and do what God has called you to do. Amen. And at this time, would you receive our new value?
Amen. Amen.
Amen. To God be the glory. You can have your seat.
All right.
The program says go to faith. And so as I begin to kind of ponder and prepare, I'm going to take my time. You can go ahead and sit.
All right. All right.
And I don't have a lot of words, but I do want to deliver this in spirit, which it needs to be delivered. I do thank the Lord. I thank Him. He prepared me years ago for this day, and I love the way that He did it. We did have a lot of, I did have a lot of personal requests. He said no to some, He said yes to others. And at the end of the day, I said, I won't give you any trouble. So here I stand in the fullness of all that He said. I do thank God for Apostle Clay. I thank God for Apostle Clay for simply saying yes. Somewhere throughout the year, she said yes. And along the way in her journey, we teamed up together, our paths crossed. And because that she said yes, I stand here today. I also want to take a minute to thank Pastor Tia. We have a saying that we've shared over the years that ministry will take you many places. At the time that I met her, she was Minister Clay, and she actually would share her bedroom. I would go to service in Shelby from Charlotte, and she would share her room with a stranger. We did not know each other. And just to see how the Lord has knitted us to now. She is my pastor, and I am her congregant, and just how the Lord has done this relationship so diligently. So I thank God. Thank God so much for Elder Lynch. When I first met him, he was Reverend Lynch. And when he came to the church, we had at that time Pastor Clay, we had Minister Clay, and then we had the elder that came. And so I was the only one that didn't have a title, and he never treated me with anything less. So I appreciate that a lot of times people, may walk with their heads up so high, and we leave room for those who carry a title, but that was never the case with him. I do want to take time to thank all of you, Reverend House of God. You show up to the teachings that I do, and you listen to the rantings of a young woman that's trying to give God the glory. And you give me the space to deliver, and I appreciate your attention. I appreciate the children, and to my parents, I thank God for you. It's just been an amazing thing over my years of being grown. I now appreciate what it means to have parents that are supported. And because of my parents' support, whether they understood or not understood, not only have I just been blessed, but Refuge has received the blessing. God has got the glory, and they have gotten the credit. I really appreciate my brother being here today. I thank God for him. For as much as we are alike, we are very different. And I went back and I remembered the times in the late 80s, the late 70s, the early 80s, during the Atlanta child murders. My brother and I were scared to death. And so he said, Shante, you want to sleep in my room? I said, yeah. So he slept in the bed, and I slept on the floor, and we held hands until we fell asleep. And so I think that is very symbolic of the way we look at life today. In spite of our likenesses and differences, we just simply said we're better off together than we are apart. And so I give God the glory for that. And I do want to take just a little extra time today. Although he's not here, I just want to take a minute to share a quick story. I do have an uncle who's been in ministry. You've heard me talk about him. My Uncle Lehman, we call him Reverend Dillahunt. And he's been married to one woman 60 years. He's been in ministry over 50 years. He's been pastoring over 50 years. And over time, we share things together. And I find it so beautiful to tap into the mind of a man who's seen so much over the years. And where the Lord has called him to till the ground is not easy ground. And so I enjoyed just spending time with him. When I went to share with him that I was being ordained as an elder, he simply said, "You're ready, and they have need for you." Yes. There's need for you. There's need for you. And so I thank God for those encouraging words. My mother shared with me some years ago that my uncle has always wanted one minister, one person to come out of him. And that happened. He has had a person come out from his ministry to do ministry. But likewise, I believe he wanted somebody to come out of his family.
Yes.
And so when I went and I was thinking about my uncle, the Lord took me to the word legacy. And the word legacy is to receive an inheritance or to receive from a predecessor. And the word predecessor can be forefather or ancestor.
Okay.
And so all that I'm trying to say is that from my Uncle Lehman to Apostle Clay, what today represents is the prayers of the righteous.
Yes.
Now have availed us much.
Yes.
They've been availing, but we've just taken time to celebrate the availing of much. Yes. And so that's what I've labeled today, the availing. When I get a minute to get my head on straight, I'll actually go look it up and see if it is a word. But I just thank God that what you're looking at now is the availing of much. Yes. I do solicit your continued prayer. I do solicit your continued prayer as I continue to say yes.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen.